The newbies, you're going to notice I always mix my words, especially in English, because I usually speak French. Okay, so I'm going to try my best, as usual, to be clear and understandable. Otherwise, well, have fun. If you can't keep track, doesn't really matter. Because what I say has no real value, okay? You can't really trust me, after all. Because you've heard that I was enlightened, but nothing can prove it to you. You can't take my word for it, okay? So it doesn't really matter. So just go with your feeling. If you feel good about something, you continue unless you were told it was very evil for your soul or your health. Some people keep on taking drugs because they think it feels good, and then they discover the suffering of it later on. So, I mean, you can't even trust me, you can't even trust yourself. So you have to go through the experience and use your wisdom and find out for yourself, okay? What I say, you can't trust me, it doesn't mean that you should fear me. Don't fear me, don't trust me, just don't care, okay? Feel your experience. What do I mean by feel your experience? Well, first, let's not think. Let's breathe. In the abdomen, and I have one of the biggest abdomen here, along with Gabe's, so don't worry about breathing into your abdomen and no one would judge you. I love you, Gabe. Hi, Sandy. So, you breathe in the abdomen. And you observe yourself. What do I mean by observing yourself? Pay attention. Don't try to understand. Don't try to intellectually deduct what's going on. Just look, observe, okay? And breathe. And observe your breathing. Did you notice that you are aware that you are breathing? Okay, so now pay attention to your breathing and pay attention to the fact that you are conscious that you are paying attention to your breathing. Okay? The goal is not to breathe. The goal is to be self-aware. And we use breath only as a fixation, as a focus. And you say, wow, I'm conscious. I never paid attention to the fact that I was conscious. Be happy that you're conscious. We're going to do a nice little thing. Close your eyes. People at home, close your eyes too. Do it like if you were with me here, and my consciousness will go work on you also. And breathe. And imagine that every single cell in your body is a juicy, happy face smiling. Every part of you is a happy face. The cells in your bloodstreams are moving happy faces throughout your body. The cells in your brain, the nervous system, happy faces sending smiles through the synapse and the nervous system. You're happy and you breathe. Self-awareness. Happiness. And relax in this state and just come back here. Okay? Not trying to understand. Not trying to analyze what happened. You felt something. Some people felt happiness. Some people felt lost. Some people are wondering why they didn't feel anything. Doesn't matter. Something happened. And most of you got this slight feeling of happiness. And you had no good reason to be happy. Okay? So, true, pure happiness is an experience of happiness you have when you don't have any reason. Okay? If you have a good reason to be happy, something happened in your life, and you base your happiness on this event, the event will eventually go away, and you will become unhappy. Self-awareness of the state of happiness without an exterior cause, simply by observing yourself as happy, even when you're in the state of despair. Try it. There are other tools to go resolve the states of despair and depression and stuff, but let's start with happiness. Try not to have a good reason to be happy. Okay? Just be. Pay attention inside and feel it. Nice tattoos, by the way. Shri Yantra of Kali or Divine Mother. I'm going to go easy tonight. It'll be very easy, soft, gentle. We're going to introduce the seminar. When there's a blank, I'm simply not speaking what's going on. When I speak, I'm speaking about what's going on. But it's more about consciousness interacting. Okay? They call me Maha. Maha alone means big. Okay? It's a nickname. In Sanskrit, it means, hey, dude. Okay? It's more intimate. When you say Maha Vajra, it means great strike of enlightenment. Because Maha with something means the immensity of whatever follows. But Maha alone is less pretentious. Okay? Less pompous. You know I'm pompous, don't you? And she's just laughing. No reason to laugh. All right. You like that? All right. I know some people here, I throw inside jokes. It's fun. How are you, Alma?
I'm fine. Alta.
Alta? Like in high?
Yes.
Great. Alta. There's a city called Alma close to where I live, so I'm sorry for the confusion. State of being is not something that happens in the mind. A state of being happens when you use your mind to fix your attention on something. We just did it. We used the intellect to fix our attention on slight and subtle happiness for no reason. And a bit of feeling of happiness came. Okay? We're going to do stuff like that to play, to have fun, to understand states of being. All right? Just for fun. If you don't understand what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. If you understand what I'm saying, you'll get over it. Okay? Doesn't matter. You'll get to feel and exist as instead of think about it. Okay? Thinking is a tool. Okay? It's not a goal. It's just a tool. You use it. You have a hammer in your toolbox and a screwdriver. You use it when you need it. And when you don't need your hammer, you just store it away. Why don't you store away your mind when you don't need to think? Oh, because you were trained to always think. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to practice not thinking. Practice not thinking means it's okay if you don't succeed. You've been spending the last 10, 20, 40, 60, 150 years, whatever your age is, thinking. I love you. You were waiting. I'm always referring to your soul.
I know.
89,000 years old. That was a joke, but it's true. Last seminar I said, what age are you, like 89,000 years old something? And she said, well, yeah, maybe about that, with your wonderful Texan accents. And she's 83. So everyone thought I was insulting her. Yes, I remember. You'll still be in average 89,000 years, plus or minus 1, to my eyes. Humor is good. Okay, humor is good. It just goes light. It's happy. Breathe and feel. If there's nothing to feel, it's wonderful. Observe what goes on inside. If there's nothing to observe, I want to become your disciple. If your mind can stay still in vacuity and not think, it's wonderful. You good? You had a hard trip? No, nice? Good. Stay aware. Close your eyes. Imagine this big, immense bull 20 feet away from you in a field, staring at you. The face bears no expression. This bull, this ox, is just staring at you in its great state of being. Feel, go feel. We're using an image to stimulate something. And feel. Come back here. Rajagata, what did you get? What's the feeling?
The feeling was immensity.
Immensity, okay, good. There's no correct word in the human languages to describe the exact state, okay? But a lot of people are going to say different words, and we're going to use this to isolate the consonant. What did you get?
Yeah, you're almost fearful too.
Fearful, yeah? Okay.
You're there right in front of me.
Okay. Fearful is your reaction to this thing. What did you get?
I was just looking at the image.
Okay, did you feel an emotion, a state?
Just in awe of
In awe. Okay, there was ah. You were impressed. There's something. Vanessa.
I was just there. I wasn't scared or
Okay. Gabe?
contact.
A contact? Okay. Consciousness. The first image we use is the image of a bull or an ox, very powerful. And your reaction to it is how you relate to consciousness and its interaction in forces of nature. If you're afraid of a bull, you're afraid of the consciousness in forces of nature. Okay? It's your reaction. If you felt just in awe, you find it wonderful that consciousness comes into in nature and expresses through forces of nature. Understand that? There's a Zen Buddhist koan that start with sitting on a bull. So you just breathe. Now sit on the bull. Close your eyes. You are sitting on this immense, powerful bull. It's not moving. It is pure raw power standing still. What do you feel? And you stay there. Come back here. What do you feel? Peace. You were at peace, sitting on the power. You.
Feeling that energy mingle with mine. With that power.
The going together? Yeah, riding. And you? Happy. Cool. That is the first creative force. The first creative force of the 22 is this great, immense power not doing anything. It's the source. Right? It is the first creative force. And I introduced the seminar with that. And now we're going to elaborate on the first force, the first power. It is immense. It is fearful if we react to it. We're in awe. We're not used to it. We're sitting on it. Each of you got a different reaction, different state. But there's a constant, which is the image invokes the idea of power, and you are sitting on it. Okay? And it's very powerful. This is, each of the 22 powers are associated to a letter. Okay? In this case, it's a vowel. It's ah. My preferred lawyer, would you come up and write from 1 to 9 on the left? You write from 1 to 9, and on the first one, just write the numbers 1, 2, 3, up, down to 9 on the full page, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sitting on a bull. And this bull, you can observe it from 20 feet, just staring at you to understand your relationship with raw power. There is faith in your mind. This is wonderful. You progressed greatly. Remind me your name. Yeah, the one that doubts. Yes, I'm talking about faith. What's your?
Coral.
Coral. Yes, the thing in the water that's made of calcium. Yes. There's faith in your mind. I admire that. You progressed since last time we saw. Very good. Breathe. So, next to the letter 1, the number 1, you write A.
A-H.
A. And then a little further, bull. B-U-L-L. Okay, a bull on our ox. Okay, that's just to give you an idea. We use images to stimulate ideas. But those who created this system, if you go back 4,000 to 6,000 years ago, what the bull represented to them, they were always in contact with the bull. So it wasn't hard for them to understand that they are extremely powerful and they just carry tons of stuff. They push people, you can travel on it, they can pull all these devices to take care of the earth, to make stuff grow. What's the name of that? Agriculture? Yeah? Okay. So they felt the power of the image of a bull. This is why we use that, because we still have the idea of that. But usually power, I mean, you can use a big Harley Davidson if it stimulates your mind, okay? The idea is to provoke this feeling of riding great power, okay? And it must not be someone else. Yeah, enlightened masters should be afraid of sexuality and stuff like that. Eat meat and all this crap. Yeah. I love it. All right. Now, I would like everyone to say it louder than whispering, softer than normal voice. Just and this is good. Now do it with a less soothing effect. Go, ah. Presence. Feel in your abdomen. Feel the presence of this power. Focus, close your eyes, focus the power inside your abdomen. Ah. And feel the power. It's not doing anything, it is just there. The first thing to do to understand and experience creative forces is to go in a state of power. It's not acting. It's not doing anything. It's to be in the state of power. Meditate that and replenish your power. Easy enough. And it flows everywhere also. Good. This is the first creative power. It is the only power it exists. Everything else is the action or the state of being of this raw force. This raw force is consciousness. It is the fact that you are aware. So when you are paying attention inside, not trying to understand, but just trying to feel what goes on, and you are fixed in your abdomen, feeling, you can invoke this power, or you can just observe. The fact that you are conscious of being attentive, the consciousness of your consciousness, this is the awe. Power is supported by self-awareness. So we're going to practice that again. Don't close your books, because you're going to write, close your books, open your books, write. Okay, just keep it there. Close your eyes, go back to your abdomen. Feel. Don't provoke the power. Just be in emptiness and feel. There is presence. You are present. You are inhabiting yourself because you are aware. Self-awareness is inhabiting yourself. Self-awareness is the key to be conscious. If you want to become conscious and aware, you have to know that you are conscious and aware. How do you know by experience that you are aware? You pay attention to the fact that you are conscious. It's as simple as that. Self-awareness. Now, invoke the power of ah. It's not violent, it's simply plentiful. Let it override your emotional state. Self-awareness, presence, and embodiment of the power in your flesh. In your body, true power is the self-awareness of your own consciousness. Inhabit, feel it, observe it, and breathe. Now bring on the happy faces. Everything is a happy face. Ha 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 ha. Make a stupid smile on your face even if you don't feel like it. Be stronger than your ego. Smile. All right. Are you aware that you are happy? Are you aware that you're happy? This is so wonderful. Okay? Now about the drama of life. End of introduction. Okay. You triggered your state of being by knowing what it is to trigger your state of being. And we use simple Taoist and Kabbalistic techniques. The Kabbalah technique is the awe. The Taoist technique is the smile. Okay. We use that just to trigger yourself so that by experience, now you know that by concentrating on something, you get into an emotional state. Thus, I'm informing you, and I'm very sorry to inform you that when you have sorrow, you focused on it, provoked it, wanted it. And you probably encourage it by believing in the drama. I understand. Your entire genetic code wants to survive and fights to remain in drama. I understand. It's not your fault. It's not something bad. It's something good that prevented the human species from dying. This is why we believe in drama. And we love movies and soap operas and couples breaking up and coming back together 5 times in the same 2 hours. Okay? Because it stimulates our moral and genetic code of wanting this interaction and being afraid of it and keeping it back, and the movie has to end good, except if you're a Japanese where every couple ends up suiciding or something. Japanese drama is very drama. Let's bring a bit of Christianity in here. Let's speak of the 7 sins. You love that, Christians. The 7 sins are 7 blessings that God gave us so that we could survive. Laziness was in our genes so that we could spare as much energy as possible. Thanks to laziness, we're still alive. Anger was to protect our territory against threats. Without anger, the ability to summon power, non-judgment, the that is ready to go kick someone's ass. Okay, anger. Without anger, we're all dead. Pride has to do with the mating, and has to do with the social standing. To prove to people that you are a good enough woman to take care of the babies, that you're a good enough Belle to bring in the mammoth after the hunt, back to the cave, you know? This kind of genetic code. We needed it. Name me other sins. I don't know them in English. What?
Slothfulness.
Okay, gluttony. Of course. We needed to eat as much as we could to save energy and have provisions. It was absolutely required before there was constancy, before the food intake was constant. We needed to eat as much as we could when we had food. And we had about 3 days of reserve. Our stomachs were bigger and everything was built on that, okay? So, other sins?
Lust.
Lust. And lust goes into luxury, the big lust and luxury is one thing. Because along the ride, we still have to find a way to enjoy it. All right? So everything that the Catholics enforced about being a sin, you are genetically programmed by the Creator to do exactly that. So are you going to go against the will of God to obey some freak who wants to judge you? Okay? You need to make peace with yourself. Now that this is said, if you had enough to eat and you keep eating gluttony, it will cause suffering to you. It's not a sin, but it will cause suffering. If you saved enough energy by being very lazy and you keep being lazy, you're going to cause suffering and illness in your body. If your territory is protected and you keep on anger, simply in order to bypass through pride, you're going to cause suffering to others and yourself. If you had enough of entertainment and you keep bringing in more luxury and lust, you're going to create suffering, addictions, dependencies. Same for pride, same for all these sins. Everything that is described as sin, they told you it was sin, it was evil. It's not evil. It's a cause of happiness until you get to the center point of balance, and then it goes to being a cause of suffering. If you don't master these different states of being. Okay? So it has nothing to do with sin or doing something saintly or good. It's forces of nature. You're made like this. So, pick one. Pick one time. Go back in your memory. I'm giving you 30 seconds to think about it. One time that you acted according to what is socially accepted as sinful, and you acted this way, and you felt guilt about it, or you felt rejected by others who feel guilt about it, and didn't feel good. Find one. One time that you suffered because it was not accepted to just be as you wanted. You got one? Right? Just pick one. Don't pick your worst life trauma. Try to pick something like, okay? Breathe in your abdomen and feel. Go in the emotion. Is it guilt, rejection, feeling abandoned, anger, sorrow? What is it? Feel. Don't try to understand it. Don't try to forgive yourself. Don't try to change it. Don't do anything else than be conscious, self-aware of the emotion. Breathe. By paying attention to this emotional state, it will lose its power over you and go away. Forgiveness naturally comes in. No effort to do. Because of the higher understanding of the purpose of this sin or no sin, of the higher understanding of these behaviors we have, and observe them without judgment, in pure acceptance. Oh, this is how we have been made. I acted according to how I have been made by God, if you believe in God, by supreme consciousness, if you believe not in God. So you get that? And do you notice that this emotion just starts to become information but does not have all the power it used to have? 30 seconds before you paid attention to it. Okay? Breathe in happiness. Happy. Forgiveness is done. You paid attention to an emotion. The wisdom of the experience was revealed. Oh, this is suffering. This is happiness. Simplicity in the teaching. Not because you take my word for it, because you've experienced it for yourself. You know? Experience for yourself. Now you know. It has nothing to do with whoever the teacher is, or his level of comprehension of the world, enlightenment. I could be a pure asshole, screwing you up and down, and you would get this experience of wisdom. It would have the same value. It has nothing to do with me. You understand that? During the entire seminar, stay aware of yourself. Enlightenment does not exist. It is a word we use to refer to some kind of experience that most people don't have. When everyone is enlightened, we won't speak of people who are enlightened because it's going to be obvious. You know, if there were only females, Males would not exist, okay? Only females. Our species would have only females. Nothing masculine would exist in the universe. We would not refer to females as females. We'd just forget about it. We don't mention it. If there's nothing to compare it to, we would not take care of mentioning that everything is feminine if we don't want to compare it to some other things are masculine if it doesn't exist, okay? So if everyone is enlightenment, thus enlightenment does not exist. Okay? We don't need the word unless it provokes a comparison. Comparison is not oneness, so when you're enlightened, you know it doesn't exist. When you're not enlightened, you hope to get there. I'm going to shift my perception completely the other way. The only difference between you and me is I know you are all enlightened and you don't. All right? Simplicity. I'm just playing with words. I'm playing with words in your mind now because we've done emotional stuff. Happy, less happy, more happy. Now we get to the words. Right? Are you cool with that, the sense? It's a perception. 65,000 years ago, the males copulated the females. Children came out of that, regardless of if they knew what they were doing or not. And the clan would take care of the children, and there was not a specific male associated to a specific female, okay? Like in today's cultural traits, sexual exclusivity. It's just another idea I'm giving you, okay? But then males started to kill each other and fight over females, so they said, okay, we're going to limit this because there's too much suffering of being let loose. Females doesn't matter, but let male loose, we got a problem here. So I used to do the metaphor. Imagine there were no females in the universe, only males existed, and all the females went, what? And now I say the metaphor, imagine there were only females, and the guy would say, yeah. You know? So I use a metaphor that works best. I mean, compassionate teaching, I think. So we created structures hoping to prevent suffering. But if this guy makes a baby with this woman and then goes away with another girl and leaves the family, if he pays the money, if he provides, he's doing what he was meant to do in nature. There's nothing evil in that. Okay? It is the woman that feels abandoned, but the woman should go get another man. This is how we're genetically programmed to. But we don't accept it because we are afraid of detachment. We're afraid of being abandoned. We are afraid of all these emotional states that we just don't look at. So we spend years in depression being alone instead of taking half an hour looking at it. It hurts to be alone. I'm going to go get myself something else. No. You understand? There's nothing evil in nature of doing that. Okay? If the male goes away and does not pay, he's not doing his job. He's not the provider, which is how he was meant to be. Now there's a problem. There's a problem there. Okay? This is not obeying natural forces. So, from an enlightened point of view, a lot of the causes of suffering in your life, and I take the worst of them. I take the couples that break, okay? And you're touched by this, some of you. And I on purpose use these to trigger you. So that everything else I teach will be easy, okay? Every time this kind of event happened, most of your suffering came out of your misunderstanding of the true nature of things. Okay? And I understand it's not fun to be left alone. Okay? It's not fun for a man to be confined to live with a woman who is extremely aggressive with him, even at words. Like, we males are supposed to just say, what? You're still thinking? Let me go fishing. And then the lady says, you're doing nothing. Yeah. Should try it. Oh my God, I can't. And I take care of the supper, the kids, and the mind's always running. Okay? We're built differently. Okay? If you want to be at peace, first accept that men and women are physically different. 2% different. 98% of everything else is the same. For example, your heart, man or woman, is exactly the same place. Lungs, liver, stomach, everything. Okay? It just depends where the balls are. Okay? Everything else is the same. Oh, sorry. There's only a slight aesthetic difference, if I want to be polite. Well, yeah. We have to laugh about these things. People are so stuck up and afraid of what's going to be said next. Come on. Breathe. Abdomen. In Buddhism, there are no rules. So if you say a Buddhist master that tells ass jokes, it's not a Buddhist. Whatever. Okay. So you are almost identical except for very slight difference. But this slight difference is the only thing we see. Why? Because it's the only thing that comes out. It's the surface. A soul has no gender. The concept of a soulmate is completely irrelevant. There's no soulmate. That is a misunderstanding. You love to be in relationship with other souls. Do it. Then the human wants to bring it in its exclusivity system. It's my soulmate. It's going to be with me forever. And then it dies and you suffer. Okay? It's not gonna stay forever. Doesn't work that way. Okay? The only thing that lasts forever is you, what is the soul, conscious. Which bring us to, what is the soul? Okay. Well, you can do a 35-year pilgrimage in some foreign country, try to find your soul. Or you can listen for 2 minutes and we'll be done with that. I hope that wasn't too pretentious. You felt something since the beginning of this little chat. You did? Felt? Feeling? Okay. You can touch your body. You feel it? You touch it? Okay. You're not your body. The proof is that your body will eventually die. And you'll still exist. So I have no proof of that, but there's a good chance you will. Eventually you'll become conscious of yourself as eternal, so you'll understand it. Until then, well, don't take my words for it. I'm not credible. But experience and it'll come. So, you observe, you touch, you feel your body. You're not your body. It's your container, or it's something you go through. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, here I am, it's like you're looking at your shoes on the doorstep and say, oh, here I am. No, it's your shoes. You're in it. You have them. Okay, so you have a body. Do you perceive your emotions? Do you feel your emotions? Do you have information coming from your emotional state? Yes. Sometimes you feel stuff. You observe it, you feel it, then you are not your emotions. You have them. Do you observe and perceive your thoughts? If you don't understand the question, try to go to sleep without thinking, and you will know that you perceive your thoughts. Just before you try to go to bed, you are conscious, you observe your mind. Thus, you are not your thoughts, you are not your mind. You observe it. But what am I then? You are the thing that observes. You are the observer. You are the only single thing that you will never observe of yourself. You are the thing that does the observing. All right? So how do you become aware of that? Close your eyes. Breathe. Pay attention to your breath. And observe that you are conscious of yourself. Self-awareness. Presence in your body, presence in your heart, presence in your mind, presence throughout all that you are as a human. Self-awareness. That is your soul. Good. Come back here. You just saved yourself a 35-year-old pilgrimage somewhere. That was as easy as that, okay? Your soul, yourself, your high self, and everything that you just abstract as something inaccessible, if you try to understand it, you're screwed. If you feel and observe, you got it. Okay? I just love your smiling face. It's wonderful. Okay. Is it starting to fall in place? Does it make sense? Good. I understand that there is suffering. I understand that there is happiness. I understand you would prefer happiness than suffering. But suffering comes. If you put a child on a bike for the first time, he's 4 or 5 years old, and you explain to the child, to his wonderful intellect, you have to stay on your bike and not fall and stay in balance. Explain all you want. He will go out there, hurt himself, cry a bit, and then he's going to hop on the bike when he's ready to try again, and his body will do everything in its power to stay in balance in order to avoid the suffering. You can even try to intellectually convince the child to fall, and it won't. Okay? So it has nothing to do with the intellectual explanation you give to your child. It has to do with the experience you guide him through and ensure his survival. That's a good parenting tip. But that's also how consciousness takes care of us. Consciousness doesn't try to explain us how to live. It guides us through the experiences of happiness and suffering, and the wisdom comes out of it. Not the understanding, the wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge experienced. Knowledge is intellectual masturbation, hoping to self-satisfy, but rarely works on the long run. Self-awareness, so easy. Self-awareness is the first step in a true spiritual path. Everything you've read, everything you understood, everything you remembered, simply because it was written in every book that you have 7 chakras and so much bodies and this and that. I'm going to introduce you to another system. And you say, what? There's 8 chakras? Well, yeah. There's one they just never mentioned, except in temples. What? You have 10 bodies and not 14 or 7? Well, yeah, it depends on the bodies that were perceived from the people that said there are 7 bodies. They probably weren't aware of the 3 higher states. And in everything I will be explaining to you, there's no way you can trust it. There's no way you can find out if it's really the truth. I'm going to present you different systems so you can relate to experiences. Then it will make sense to you. And then someone who tells you there are 7 bodies, you'll say, yeah, sure. Someone tells you there's 14 bodies of light. Oh, yeah, sure. No problem with that. You want the truth? I can't tell you, but you can experience it. There is one body. There's one body that exists from the physical to the highest divine plane, one single united body that works on all frequencies. And then you can split it up in any way you want. Okay? Build your system. Doesn't matter. But your mind is not separated from your heart. It's just the flow of all these frequencies of where you exist. For example, take the rainbow. Show all the colors of the rainbow to a child. Say, tell me the colors you see in this rainbow. He's not gonna name you the colors on the rainbow. He's going to repeat what you learned at school. Oh, there's red and orange and yellow and and violet. But between violet and indigo, or between blue and green, in the rainbow, there's not like a stripe of definite color and another one. It's a range. Unaltered, unaffected, pure. And we put labels where they make sense. But it is still a unified range of colors. All right? We have one body, and we put a label at the level that we are physically in a tactile manner involved with it. We put another label at the 9th plane, where we feel chi and energy, and higher emotional plane, and then the mental plane where we have thoughts in our mind, and then the body of wisdom, body of soul or karma, or the action body, and then consciousness, and then you have the Holy Spirit, the Christ and the Father, or in another system you'll have the Shiva, the Vishnu, and the Brahma. Okay? The higher Trinity. You can have Eheye, Iya, and Yahweh for the Jewish. Okay? Osiris, Horus, and Isis for the Egyptians. In every system, there's a creator of all things. There is all things created. And there's the fact that they're involved in a relationship. Okay? Father, Christ, Holy Spirit. Brahma, the creator. Vishnu, all things created. Shiva, the power transformation. In all religion, they always speak of exactly the same thing, each from a different perspective. And they end up arguing to who is right about the labels they put on what. But the truth is, everything is the same. We're all unified. There's one reality. Okay? So I'm just giving you pointers to associate with the fact it's all the same. Okay? There are seminars I would put much more energy on the divine plane and being conscious of the creator and the created and all that. There are other seminars I would speak of other things, happiness and integration. This seminar is not about emotional integration. There will be a bit, but not that much. It's about becoming aware of the emotion that God felt that made him decide to create everything. And once you become aware of that, you can just contemplate it and you start to create. And then you think about something, it'll just manifest. Okay? Not through intellectual masturbation, but by synthesizing states of being, emotional states of being inside that will just draw and let this energy flow naturally, because it already does. It already does. This doctor at Yale University studies multiple personality difficulties, people with that. And he got a subject that in one personality, the eyes were blue and had diabetes. And the other personality, the eyes were brown and had no diabetes. And when the personality changed, you could physically see the gradual change of the color of the eyes, and the tests of the blood, of the insulin levels, were completely rebalanced. This didn't really help at the multiple personality level, but at the psychosomatic research and quantum neurology, it was a breakthrough. There are so many things that are defined in your mind and your state of being. Not your mind, your understanding, your mind state of being, that go way beyond what you think of yourself. And you can do a lot of intellectual affirmation. I'm so happy, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. Go to yourself, generate the happiness as a state of being, and stay there for half an hour. If you do this for half an hour the first time, you're going to want to puke afterwards. It'll be too much. But then no one will be able to take you off the feeling of happiness. No? It's so cool. You have two portable computers in front of you. What's the time?
Okay, sorry. 7:51.
7:51, okay. Trying to keep track of things. Breathe, abdomen, and relax. We are going to take a small break. I just threw a ton of stuff to you. We're going to take a small break, come back to the live streaming. We're not going to stop the live streaming at 8. We're going to keep giving a bit to the people elsewhere in the world. And for what it's worth, hi, Michelle in Rwanda, and people in Gabon and Paris and Spain and stuff were looking at me. Hi, love you guys. Some people are staying up all night in Spain, England, France, so because it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning already, Saturday morning for them. So God bless you, whoever's got the passion. And we're done with that. 5-10 minutes, take 10 minutes, back at 8 about, all right? Thank you.